Closing day for my sellers is a little different than my buyers. It is really fast, and I would say 90% of the time I'm left out of the loop on it, and not because people don't care, but because it is so fast and nobody really needs me at that point. Um, because it is generally a week before the actual buyers close. So the sellers will come in and you will sign your documents ahead of the buyers. So you're not in the same room as the buyers. So if your closing date on your property is the 15th of January, then you will likely get a call from the closing attorney on, between like the 8th and the 10th. And they will say, when can you come in and sign your seller documents? And you may say today, or you may say, in 3 days. And if you say like that day, like who knows where I am, and I may just all of a sudden get like a calendar invite, and I'm like, I'm like 5 hours away showing property. So like a lot of times I can't always get there. Sometimes I will already be in the office, and it's great, and I can pop in. But most of the time I'm somewhere else, and so I'll miss you. But Tracy or Heather, if you're closing with Lytle Title, will likely be the folks that will be sitting in there with you. And they're both a lot of fun. They're really sweet, and they've been doing it for years. They know what they're doing. They can explain absolutely everything. But it's reason why it's so fast is you don't really have a lot to sign as a seller. As a buyer, you have a ton to sign because you have all the loan paperwork from the bank. As a seller, you're just signing a couple of documents, and then saying that you will agree to the closing disclosure, and allow the bank, or allow the title company to sign off on it when you agree to it when it comes through. So it's really like a 15-minute process, and you come in and just sign and leave. But it's the actual closing day for you, like the day that the buyer closes is the official closing day. So you sign your documents about a week ahead of time. Then the house actually closes a week later, which is kind of a non-eventful day for the seller because you've already moved out, right? You're going to move out. All right, if we use January 15th again, let's say you signed your documents on January 10th. Well, I'm going to have you move out by January 14th because I need the house empty before the buyer comes through and does their walkthrough. And I would have told you all this already when the contract got ratified. I'll have your move out date on your spreadsheet and the closing date on there so that you are very clear about when you need to vacate. So then the buyer does their walkthrough and the buyer closes. And then when you sat down and signed all your documents with your closing attorney, they will have asked you how you want your money because you will be getting some money from the sale of the house, right? And you want that money. So you are either going to be coming by to pick up a check, and that will be coming from the buyer's attorney, not where you went to go sign your seller documents necessarily, unless they have the same closing attorney, which is pretty rare. So you won't be going back to the same office. A lot of times people just want the money wired into their account, which is generally a fee. It's like, I don't know. It depends on what your bank charges, honestly. So I have no idea. Sometimes it's $20, sometimes it's $50. But we don't have any control over what those fees are. So you will have told Tracy or Heather or whatever title company we're using how you want that done, and given them a voided check. And when they call you to set up your seller meeting, they will tell you that you need to bring a voided check if you want a rewiring money. But so the 10th you sign your documents, the 15th the buyer closes, and if the 15th is a weekday and they're closing early in the morning, you could have money in your bank account by the 16th, the 17th at the latest. So if it's direct deposited, and if you're going to pick up the check, of course you could go like the same day and get the check if that title office works quickly. But if you're picking up the check, they would call you and tell you that the check was ready. And again, people tell you, they'll remind you about all of this as you're going through it. And then I show up on your doorstep after everything is closed. So I find you, I always find you. I've told you before and I'll tell you again. I don't go away unless you tell me to go away, and then of course I will go away. But I am always here for you, anything you need. And again, if you want me to go away, I'll go away. But once it's all closed, I will come by to say thank you. I don't like to jinx anything. So I don't want to say congratulations or thank you until it's done. But once it's done, then I'll come by and say thank you and congratulations.